Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my second movie video on my channel. I'm so excited to be filming this. So this video is going to be my top 10 movies of 2018. I know that it's already April and people probably don't care at this point, but I thought this would be a really good time to show you the type of movies that I enjoy, just so you can see whether we are the same. See if you want to subscribe to me, that would be great if you did. So I'm just going to be going through my top 10 movies from last year. I won't go over the plot lines too much because I just want to mainly give you my thoughts and why I loved them. But let me know your favourite movies from 2018 down below and we can talk about it, that would be great. Just a little disclaimer before I start, I am from the UK as you can tell, so all of my movies will be 2018 UK release dates. So if you're watching this thinking, no, that movie came out in 2017, it probably did in your country, but we get movies super late. So yeah, without further ado, let's go into it. So number 10 on my list just made it in, and that is American Animals. So this film I don't think has got enough recognition. It's so great and I just wish more people had watched it and more people loved it. So a basic plot line is it follows a group of university students that really want to get some cash, and they plan a heist. What really makes this movie totally amazing, apart from the fact that Evan Peters is in it, is the fact that the people that committed this crime in real life are also in the movie as a documentary style. So half of the movie is a drama that's obviously made for film, and then the other half is, it's all obviously intertwined, but half of the movie is the people that committed the crime talking about why they did it, how they felt and all that jazz. So it's kind of like a docudrama, I think you could say, and I loved every single aspect of it. The acting was absolutely amazing. Obviously I've already mentioned Evan Peters. He pretty much carried the movie. He was absolutely insane. I love seeing him on screen. You just know he's going to be so great whenever he's in a film. I loved obviously the docudrama element of it. That was so great. And I don't want to spoil it, but I loved watching this and knowing that the people that committed the crime were just normal, really nice people, and they didn't want to cause anyone any harm, and they actually felt kind of bad about what they did. I won't go into that too much because I don't want to spoil anything. But if you haven't seen this movie already, I'd definitely give it a go. It's probably one of the most unique movies I watched in 2018, so for that reason I think it's really worth seeing. And I think I gave it 4 stars out of 5, so obviously this is my top 10, so they're all pretty much going to be 5 stars, 4.5 or 4. So number 9 on my list is BlacKkKlansman, which is a movie directed by Spike Lee, and I think it's the first Spike Lee movie I've seen, which I know is crazy, I need to catch up. But BlacKkKlansman was absolutely incredible. I knew I would love it, but I didn't realise quite how much I would love it, and I think about this movie quite a lot. So BlacKkKlansman, if you don't know, is about an African-American police officer called Ron Stallworth who actually manages to infiltrate the KKK, which is amazing. And I think this is based on a true story as well, which is also extremely crazy. So it follows him infiltrating the KKK, and obviously he's African-American, so anytime there's a meetup he sends his friend to pretend to be him, and that is played by Jesus, Adam Driver, who I absolutely adore. He's probably like my favourite actor. I know, it's crazy. I shouldn't have a favourite, but I do. He's amazing. And the chemistry between those two characters is what makes the film so amazing. So they literally bounced off each other the entire time. The humour was amazing. It was like up here. It was so freaking funny, this movie. It was graded beautifully. Obviously it's set in the late 70s, so the grading, it looks like slightly old-fashioned. It was so beautiful. And the music, oh my god, the music, it is so haunting and amazing, and one of my personal favourite soundtracks of the year. It didn't get as much recognition as I'd hoped, but I really loved it. It was edited beautifully. It wanted you to feel certain ways at certain times, but it didn't force that on you. Every reaction I had to the movie was super like natural, and just when they wanted you to feel really gutted and sad, because obviously it is about quite a moving subject, when it wanted you to feel that way you did, and when it wanted you to pee your pants you literally did. So yeah, this movie is number 9 in my list. I gave it 4 stars, and unfortunately I've only seen it once, but I think if I was to watch it again I would totally put it up to probably a 4.5. So number 8 on my list is such a surprise for me because I don't really like Spider-Man movies. Like, I do like them, but I'm not crazy about Spider-Man and I'm not crazy about animation. But obviously number 8 in my list is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. This film, just no words, absolutely no words. It is so fantastic. I think everyone was shocked at how good it was, and like animations are just not loved at the moment. There's such like a negative aura around animations at the moment because they've all been so crap recently, and there's been a lot of stuff about companies just pushing these animations out to make money because they're for children. Obviously families will attend them, but Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is just not like that at all. It is so heartfelt, so well made. These characters, like, you forget that this movie is animated. You form such a strong attachment to these characters. The animation is so beautiful. Like, this is how superhero movies, in my opinion, should be, because they're based on comics, and the comic-themed animation was just so incredible. So if you don't know what this movie is about, it's basically about a young guy called Miles Morales who basically becomes a Spider-Man, and then there's a big baddie, and all the same, like, all Spider-Mans in every single dimension end up in one dimension, and it's up to Miles and the team to get them all back to their original dimensions, which I have made sound so more confusing than it actually is. But if you're not sure about whether to watch this movie because you don't like Spider-Man or you don't like animation, just push out all your negative feelings about that and honestly just give it a go, because it is so great and I guarantee you will love it. It's funny, it's heartwarming, the animation is there, the soundtrack is amazing and has actually made me like rap music, so that's a thing. So yeah, please check this movie out. I don't know if it deserves number 8, I think it deserves to be higher, but for now that is where it stands. The next movie on my list at number 7 is Hereditary, which is a modern day kind of horror film. What makes it more modern to me is that it's not just filled with jump scares and your normal tropes that you have in horror movies. It's actually really well thought out, really clever. The horror is quite low-key through lots of the film until the end, where it all just kicks off. A lot of it is very psychological, so if you like that sort of thing, you'll probably like this. But this movie is a horror film that's just made like a really well-made Oscar kind of movie, which I think is where horror movies fail because they are too trashy. But basically, Hereditary is in the title. I don't want to go into what this movie is about because 1, I can't because it's too difficult, and 2, I don't want to spoil it. But it follows this family who you will grow to love, and the grandma dies, so the mum of the main character passes away, and the main character, played by Toni Collette, has kind of realised that maybe this wasn't a natural death, maybe there's something really weird going on here, and I can guarantee there is a lot of weird stuff going down. So I think that's all I want to say about this movie. The main thing that I took away from this movie is how awesome Toni Collette is, because this movie rested on her shoulders. Oh, her emotion, just her everything was amazing. I loved Toni Collette before, but after it I just loved her even more. She's so amazing. It's made me want to watch all the movies that she's been in, which is great. So yeah, Toni Collette was amazing. One of them was a child, but one of them slightly older, like the younger actors, should I say, were really good too. The soundtrack, though like quite low-key, it's kind of always there if you pay attention to it, and it's so scary. And yeah, the horror was there. It's crazy. It's just a crazy movie that's shot nicely. It has great acting, great soundtrack. So if you like a more low-key horror that's very psychological but is still gonna make you shit yourself and not be able to sleep on your own, definitely check it out. So number 6 on my list is a film that I hold very close to my heart, because I saw it right at the beginning of 2018 in January, so like nearly a year and a half ago, and it's just stayed with me ever since, and I always make people watch this movie, and that is 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. I know some people are going to be like, oh my god, really? But yes, really, this film is great. I know some people have a problem with it, but because I love this movie so much, I haven't even bothered like looking into why people don't like it, because I just love it so much. So basically, trigger warnings for sexual assault and rape and murder. It's about a mother who unfortunately lost her young daughter to rape and murder, and justice has not been served. She feels like the police aren't doing their work. They haven't found this guy yet. It's been like a year since it happened. She wants answers, so she kind of takes it into her own hands and puts these massive billboards outside her house, just basically having a go. at the police for not doing their job. So obviously this puts it back into media attention, and she thinks it will make people want to solve the mystery of her daughter's murder. So this movie is just so damn emotional. Like, I don't mean you're going to sit there crying throughout it, but just the emotion that's carried through this movie is anger, and it's prominent through the whole movie, and it shows how much of a gift and a curse anger can be, which I really like. It really explores that emotion really well. Frances McDormand plays the main character, the grieving mother, really, really well, because although she's grieving and she's sad about her child's death, she's so badass and so brave and cool, and she is just the type of person that you'd want to be in that type of scenario. And you've got so many great actors in this movie. Sam Rockwell, if Frances McDormand doesn't win Best Actor for this movie, then Sam Rockwell deserves it, because he was just so amazing. He played like a very racist kind of cop, and his morals and stuff were very backwards, but he did it so well that it was just so believable. And like, after watching the movie, you look at Sam Rockwell like, ugh, but he's such a great actor, he did such a good job. This movie is just so emotional, so brilliant, and I think everyone deserves to watch it. Number 5 in my list is I, Tonya, which is a movie based on a real life person called Tonya Harding. I think it's Harding, yeah, that sounds right, who was a famous figure skater, but she's kind of infamous because she's known for committing this really, really bad crime against someone that she was competing against. So in this movie you have Margot Robbie playing Tonya herself, and then it just kind of follows her from the beginning of her skating journey up until this really bad crime happened, and you see her emotions and stuff. And the main great thing about this movie is her relationship with her mother, because the mother's played so well. I can't remember the name of the actress, but I'll pop a picture of her up here and you'll know who I'm talking about. She just plays the mother so damn well, and their chemistry and their relationship is the main part of this movie. So it's not really a movie about skating, it more explores like relationships and family. So definitely check it out if you're interested in that. There's some great skating scenes as well, like the film definitely has those. And it's just so unique the way this is filmed. So you have elements where Margot Robbie is like talking to the camera, which I don't normally like. It normally like cringes me out, but I really liked it in this movie. I think it worked really well. And I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil it, because you kind of want to go in this not really knowing much about Tonya's story if you don't already. But definitely check this out if you like movies that are based on real people that you don't necessarily know much about. So it's a great movie for exploration. The acting is just first class. The editing and the filming is all brilliant. So please go and check it out if you haven't already. Number 4 on my list, I just know I'm going to struggle talking about it because it's so damn crazy, and that is Suspiria, which is a remake of the, I think it's 1970s it came out, so it's a remake of the 1970s really famous well-known horror. This time around it was directed by Luca Guadagnino, who you'll probably know from being the director of Call Me By Your Name, which was one of my favourite movies from 2017. So Suspiria is basically, the plotline is that a young dancer, who in this case is played by Dakota Johnson, ends up going to a really famous dance school in Germany, and basically the dance school is inhabited by witches. Oh, I can't even talk about this movie because it's not a horror, it's not a drama, it's so beautifully both at the same time. It's not the type of horror that is going to like jump in your face and scare you. It's not like witches like eating people and stuff like that. It's literally just chilling. I think the best way to describe this film is it's so chilling, like it sends a shiver up your spine, and you will come away from this movie like terrified for a week, but in the way where you're constantly like looking over your shoulder and you're just like chilling. Like, it's so hard to explain. So the best thing about this movie is the dance scenes, because they are just so beautiful. It's not just like beautiful ballet and contemporary like you'd imagine, it's like creepy contemporary, so it works really well with the witchy kind of theme. There's this really amazing scene. I don't want to spoil it for you, but I do want to talk about this scene. It's basically where Dakota Johnson is performing this solo in front of her class, and meanwhile a girl is being tortured, and Dakota's kind of like this voodoo doll, so whatever movement she does, the other dancer that's like trapped like below, that's being tortured, is like moving and twitching and her bones are cracking, and oh, it's just such an amazing scene. It's so terrifying but so beautiful, like you want to keep watching but you really want to look away at the same time. So yeah, Dakota Johnson was amazing. Tilda Swinton is absolutely incredible, and she was playing 3 characters in this movie, which is such a big deal. That is so amazing. 2 of these characters that she's playing are main characters, which is so cool. She is amazing. Mia Goth was amazing as well. She's one of my favourites, and yeah, she was just really great. This is kind of a movie that's going to confuse you, and you're going to come away like not knowing how you feel, not knowing if you liked it or not understanding what the heck is going on. You'll have to Google it when you come out and probably watch it another like 10 times to understand it. But that to me is a good movie, that you're so involved with it that you're just constantly thinking about it. I think that's a great movie. So if you're terrified of horror films, I would maybe stay away, because it's worse than a horror film in a way. But if you love a bit of horror, you like something that's gonna make you think, and you want some awesome dance scenes, some great acting, then please, please check it out. Hats off to Luca for making such a good remake and just making it his own. You wouldn't even know that it's a remake, so hats off to him. It is amazing. So number 3 on my list is, this is gonna make me sound like so wet, but number 3 on my list is A Star Is Born, and I don't care because I absolutely adore this movie. I've seen it twice, I believe. I saw it at a Cineworld Unlimited screening. I got to see it before anyone else did, and then as soon as it came out I saw it again because I just loved it so much. So yeah, A Star Is Born is basically about a singer called Ali who is struggling. She has just a normal 9-to-5 job, but she really wants to be a singer, and she meets Jackson Maine, who is a famous rock / country singer, and he takes her under his wing and he turns her into a star, hence the title. So this movie is not only led by Bradley Cooper, but he also directed it, which is amazing. Any director that can do a lead role and direct, I believe, deserves a lot of credit. Lady Gaga's playing Ali, and she was absolutely amazing. I loved her acting already because I've seen American Horror Story and she was great in that. So I knew she was going to be great. She was better than what I thought she would be. I could just watch these characters just going through daily life because they were so captivating and the acting was so good. The songs are obviously very famous. You'd have heard them all by now. Shallow is amazing. It deserved the Oscar because it was just so great. It's such a touching song. This movie explores a lot as well of like modern problems. I don't want to spoil, because one of the big things in it happens at the end, and I don't want to spoil that for you. But it does have a lot of big topics that should be discussed. So it's a very heavy movie, so it can be emotional at times, good emotion and bad emotion. But just know that you'll come away absolutely loving these characters and loving this movie, and it will make you feel 1,000 feelings. There's music, there's dancing, there's Bradley Cooper, there's great cinematography, weird editing, but I didn't mind it. I found it okay. You'll see what I mean if you've seen it, but yeah, I just think it's so hyped up, but it so deserves it, so please check it out if you haven't already. So I'm on number 2 on my list, and I pretty much like number 2 and number 1 the exact same, but I have to pick for this video, and I'm going to go with my heart. So my second favourite movie of 2018 was Lady Bird. So Lady Bird, played by Saoirse Ronan, is a character who is navigating her way through high school and applying for university, and it's one of those movies where there's not like a massive plot line. You're just kind of following a character, and at the same time like her friends, her family, the arguments, the love, and all of that, and that's what makes this really great. There's not a big huge plot line, nothing really terrible happens. You're just following these characters, and that sounds so boring, but it's just so amazing. So Saoirse Ronan is my favourite actress of all time, ever, so I was guaranteed to love this movie, and I did. Her performance is amazing. It finally got her the recognition that I believe she deserves. You've got some other great actors in here as well, like Beanie Feldstein and Timothy Chalamet, and I always forget what the mum characters, like their real names are, but once again, the person who played the mum in this movie was the best actress in it, apart from obviously Saoirse. But yeah, what most people are taking away from this movie is its relatability, because even if you're a guy, like, this movie is so relatable. Her relationship with her mum is very real, and it's something that's not explored often, and it's just, I think most people can watch this movie and relate to at least one scene with her and her mother. It's just so good, and it just explores the most basic themes, like having her first boyfriend, losing her virginity for the first time, applying for college, and just all this stuff. But even though it sounds just like nothing, it's just everything. It's so good. Like, the soundtrack I absolutely adored. It's so beautiful. All the actors did such a good job. Even the more low-key kind of characters are just as good as the main actors, which really makes this movie work, because you need a good actor to make this movie what it is, because you don't want it to be overacted, because you're just following the lives of these people. So everything needs to be natural, and it 100% was. Greta Gerwig directed it, and I love her so much. She did such a great job. She's doing Little Women, I believe, so that's going to be great. Anything she directs from now, I will totally go and see it and support her, because she did such a great job with Lady Bird. If you are a mum, I would 110% recommend this. And also, just to anyone, if you are a movie buff and you love a well shot, well made movie that's really well acted and really well put together, then definitely go and check it out. But that is my number 2 movie of 2018. So I'm just going to read out a few of my honourable mentions. I'm going to read them from my phone because my memory is just terrible. And I use Letterboxd, which is a movie app, to rank all my movies. So every time I see a movie, I pop it in a list and then rank them based on that year. So it just looks like this, and this is all my rankings, just every movie I saw in the year. So some honourable mentions that I have to just tell you the names of because I love them so much are A Quiet Place, Bohemian Rhapsody, Love, Simon, You Were Never Really Here, Coco, Searching, First Man, Crazy Rich Asians, Unsane, and Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again. So the big moment is here, and I get to tell you my number 1 favourite movie of 2018, and that was Isle of Dogs. So you probably know that if this movie came out in 2018, it's going to be my favourite because of my posters down here. But yeah, Isle of Dogs is directed by Wes Anderson, who you all know, I'm sure. He is absolutely amazing. I love his stop animation movies so much. Fantastic Mr. Fox, amazing. And Isle of Dogs, some people don't like it as much. Some people say that Isle of Dogs is his weakest movie, but that is a complete lie. I think it's maybe not his best, but yeah, maybe it's my favourite movie by him, totally. So if you didn't guess by the name, Isle of Dogs is about dogs. That's it. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. That's why you should watch this movie. Wes Anderson and dogs. But it's about, basically, I think it's set in Japan. I get so confused. But it's set in Japan, and it's basically the president, or whatever you call the leader of Japan, hates dogs. And the world are kind of starting to adopt this feeling as well. Like, they're starting to not like dogs, which is a shame, and they're banished to a place called Trash Island, where they basically have to fend for themselves. And a young boy comes along because unfortunately his dog was sent there, and he really wants to find his dog. And the group of dogs that this movie is about basically help him find his lost dog, and how amazing is that? But yeah, this movie is so great. Like, the dogs, like, the voice acting is amazing. It completely makes these dogs like it just brings them to life, and the dogs themselves are so cute. The sets, I just can't talk about these sets enough. I don't want to go too much into it because I'll literally be talking about them forever. But I saw an exhibition in London with all these sets, and they're just so beautiful. I might insert some little clips here just so you can, I look like a dog, so you can see some of the sets, just because of how beautiful they are, really. But this is an absolutely hilarious movie. It explores some really unique ideas, some really important ideas. It's dogs, so if you're a dog lover, you are just gonna love it. It's really well made, really well shot, really well edited. The sets, the dogs, everything is just so beautiful. And yeah, it's my favourite movie of 2018. I've watched it so many times, and I probably could watch it again and again. It's just so watchable. It's such an easy movie but so well made that it just makes it so deep and just amazing. Like it could easily be like misinterpreted, but it's just so amazing that, like, if you just ask someone that's not really that into movies, like, oh, have you seen Isle of Dogs? They'll be like, oh no, it looks so weird, it's too weird. But as you kind of watch it, you kind of get used to it, and it's just so amazing. I'm waffling now and not making any sense, so I am just going to stop. But obviously I gave this movie 5 stars out of 5. It's so important to me. It was my most anticipated movie of 2018, and it's my favourite, so yeah, that says how good it is. Please check it out if you haven't already. Get past the weirdness. It's dogs, so what is there not to like? So I hope you've really enjoyed this video. I know it's April, but I just wanted to share with you some of my favourite movies, just so we can get on the same wavelength and so you can know a little bit more about me. I hope I haven't rambled too much, and I hope you really enjoyed this video, so please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel if you think we're going to get along really well. I would love to talk to you in the comments if you want to talk about any of these movies or any different ones. Just drop a comment, say hi, subscribe, please like this video too, and I will see you soon for another movie video. Bye!